And welcome everybody to episode 55 of the Paws Up podcast. I am Jake Gibson, joined alongside my friends and co-hosts Kevin Barral and Jonathan Mayer. And we have another awesome episode today, crossing off another list of the sports at FIU that we have not had a guest for in the past. We're super excited to welcome Kaliah Henderson of FIU women's basketball. Kaliah, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm just very honored for you guys to have me here. How are y'all doing?
Oh man,
Doing
we're doing
great.
great. It's been a busy day, but it's always nice to welcome in a player from a sport we haven't had on the show yet. It was with Bernardo dos Santos Montero with men's soccer. Granted, we had the coach on earlier, of course, Anna Rocket with women's soccer, and the great Billy Gill for track and field. I'm just going to say that. So. Should be a fun show tonight, Kaliah, and let's just get right into it. Starting with your time growing up and the sport of basketball, and it's funny because we spoke with Austin Deering last week from baseball about how he was a two-way player. He played both basketball and baseball in high school. In your case, Kaliah, it was basketball, volleyball, and track and field all at once. Between
Yes.
all those sports you grew up playing, how did basketball become the sport you'd ultimately pursue?
I think it's because it's always been like the household sport. Because
Okay.
my dad played at Alcorn State, and so my oldest brother played, my second brother played, and then of course me being a baby girl, I picked it up. So I've been playing it ever since I was 5 years old. And then when we moved to Japan, when I was in sixth grade, that's when my dad started the AU team over there, and I just started working out. And I was like, oh, my dad said, yeah, you're not too bad. So you want to keep it going? Let's go. So I just kept playing and kept playing, and then next thing you know, come back to the States. I want to play still, and then yeah, that's how I got to college playing basketball. But no, it's always been around me. So
So if basketball was the primary sport, then how did you end up playing volleyball and track and field?
honestly, I only did it because my friends were doing it in middle school. I was like, okay, let me just do
Oh,
another sport. And then for track, I wanted to stay in shape. So I was like, yeah, Leah, just join track. And I happened to like the hurdles. And I ended up being really good in the hurdles. So I was like, it might be a battle between basketball and track right now. So I was like, no, but not track, but basketball's always been like my favorite sport. And I was like, you know what? But volleyball was just something to do. Like I feel like that one was like a really extracurricular activity. So I kind of let
okay.
that one go.
Well, you had briefly talked about it, Clea, on the topic of
Hmm.
high school. Your freshman year was played overseas at the
Hmm.
and tell me if I get this right, Yokota High School
Yeah.
at
Dakota
the
High School, yes,
Yokota
sir.
the Air Base in Japan.
Hmm.
So, man, I mean, talk a bit about playing basketball in overseas in another country like that. Obviously, there's cultural differences. I'm assuming that you had to
Hmm.
get used to during your time there.
Hmm. No, it was amazing. It's not everything that I expected. I think I used to make the joke. It's like, yeah, I just got done watching Karate Kid. Like, I know it's not the same China and Japan, but I don't want nobody bullying me when I go over there. So it's like, I was really nervous at first, but playing basketball there was really different. I remember one time we went like off base since my dad is military, well, ex-military, that when you had to go off base and play it and like around like, Japanese people, you had to take off your shoes. So before entering, you had to take off your outside shoes, besides of course your basketball shoes. So I was like, okay, this is something different. And I think the only teams we played, Japanese people press you 40 minutes a game. 40 minutes
Really?
a game. Yes. My dad said, well, y'all finna get in shape now. Y'all better try to break the press. It was a lot of fun though. I definitely want to go back.
Oh, well, the
I
conversation was so good at FIU Wi-Fi had to have another seizure.
There's
But
no way that was FIU
I
Wi.
don't think that was FIU Wi-Fi.
because it wasn't
It
sudden.
didn't like pause
It was.
or like
It
It
make
was
wasn't
me.
any lag.
okay. All right. All right. All right.
I would
Yep.
say to read news break, but I think it's too early for that.
It's a little too early for that. However, we can, as we get hopefully get Kaliah back on the show real quick. We can quickly talk about this upcoming baseball series and what we saw yesterday. That doubleheader against
We can talk about what we
FGCU.
saw yesterday.
That was insane, Kevin and Johnny.
I've never watched a baseball game as close as I did yesterday from the dugout, and seeing that Nikki P homer. I mean the RBI. That was pretty special. Johnny, you were there too, man. You
I'm running.
were ready to sprint into the outfield and get the guys, but unfortunately, things ended up in a cooler way with a walk-off.
Nah, it was a fun game. Nothing but I think this is the first ever like true walk-off. We did win in a walk-off fashion in a run rule a couple weeks ago, but this was a fun one where bases were full. Nicky P comes up and technically in his last game hit a home run and comes into the play pinch hitting and hits a liner into right. Everyone goes crazy. They love the experience. Great opportunity for him, and it was a fun one just to get now. All of a sudden, FIU, who had a salvage series against Jacksonville State, now has won 3 in a row, and are coming into an interesting non-con matchup this weekend against Wofford, which will be really, really fun to be there. That Wofford team, by the way, leads the nation in offense. They're the best hitting team in the country. So
Wow.
a lot of runs in offense this weekend at FIU Baseball Stadium. But yeah, it was a nice little midweek sweep yesterday.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, but Wofford is 21-7, probably
22-9.
22-9, but still probably
okay.
looking on the outside end of the baseball's top 25 in the NCAA. I mean, that's no joke of a team there. What you've done the research, I unfortunately haven't. What stands out about the Wofford Terriers? I want to say they are.
That's another team as well where I looked at the numbers today doing my good old preview for the article. I can check out FIUsports.com for the nice preview of the baseball game this weekend. But they have 2 guys hitting over 400. I mean, it's a lot of talent, a lot of older veteran guys. It's just a lot of stacked crew. I'm excited to be there. They don't have a whole lot of power. This team likes to steal bases. They're second in the country in stolen bases, so they're going to steal bases. It's going to be a team that plays a lot of small ball. It'll be a lot of fun baseball. I'm excited to see this Wofford team. You want to see how, you don't see a whole lot of power nowadays, or not. You don't see a whole lot of non-power. So it'll be fun to see how that game goes into effect this weekend.
It's going to be interesting too, because if there's one thing the Panthers have struggled with this year is limiting base runners, especially unfortunately at the catching position. I think Brendan Rooney is, again, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, he's by far one of the best defensive catchers. But we'll save that conversation for another day. We got Kaliah back.
That is so embarrassing.
No, it's all good. It happens to everybody.
Don't worry. 2 episodes ago, we had someone who disconnected like 7 times, so you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
okay.
You're good. What happened? Was it the Wi-Fi's fault or was it something else?
It was my fault. I thought my iPad was charging, and it wasn't. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right. No worries.
It's fine. It's fine. I was like, oh my God, it just went black. I was like, oh shoot. Okay,
Nah,
sorry, women's basketball. I got to represent us better. My bad.
Yeah.
Starting now.
We had talked about your time playing in Japan, and you had provided a bunch of cool information. We had absolutely no idea about it. Is there anything else about your time in Japan you think would be think we might not know about?
Not basketball wise. I always mentioned 7-Eleven was amazing, but other than that,
7-Eleven's a big deal there.
Yes, you can get a whole meal out of 7-Eleven. You can't do that in the US.
No, you can't.
It's just like
you
snacks.
Can probably get, it's just like snacks. But like over there, you can get anything. Like I just feel like you just have to be there. I can't even really explain it. Like you just have to be there.
Okay.
I guess playing over there, did you have colleges reaching out to you that early on, especially playing in Japan, where maybe not many college scouts go out to?
Actually, you'd be really surprised. I probably didn't start talking to college coaches until I got back to the States. So my sophomore year in college. I mean, not in college, in high school.
Yeah, and that's a good, it's a good segment because you started averaging 27 points per game. You won 5 state and national awards for your efforts. Just talk to us about that sophomore year and then coming back to the States. Just how much of a difference was it in terms of just coming back and kind of readjusting to the culture here, but then continuing your basketball career?
Yeah, I would just have to say at first it was kind of difficult trying to first find an AU team. Like coming back to Tampa, I'm like, I don't know, like what's a good team that's going to help represent me to like college coaches. So I guess that was probably the hardest part. And then after that was just going to tournaments, and it was all new to me. Like I didn't start to like most people do like 8th grade and maybe younger than that. Like you're already, being known and stuff. So that was kind of difficult too, trying to make a name for myself when I'm a sophomore. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It was, fun just trying to be the underdog and trying to make a name for myself. So would I do that again? Yes.
You eventually went to St. Joseph's.
Yeah. I eventually got picked up somewhere where I was, playing. So can't complain.
You went there for 3 years. It was definitely a lot different from your hometown in Tampa.
Yes.
How was that adjustment like? And then how do you think you kind of got it going there at St. Joseph?
I think everybody knows your freshman year is always the hardest, like especially me being 13 hours away from home. That kind of played a part in it too, of why after 3 years I was like, yeah, it's kind of time to go, get closer to home. But I don't know. I always say like the people I was around actually, they played a big part, and my family played a big part of me just keeping it going. Because a lot of people like don't know this sport is so stressful. Like there's many days where you just don't want to pick up a basketball, or if things are not going well, you're not playing. Like that can really like tear you down. But I think my support system played a big part in that.
And one thing before we talk about your time coming to FIU, talk a little about that experience in the COVID pandemic. Obviously, you played that time when it shut down, then obviously during it. Talk a little about that from your perspective in college.
Yeah, I kind of remember like it was yesterday. My end of my freshman year, I'm going home for spring break, and of course you're like, oh, I can't wait to get back for sophomore year, and it ends up being a couple months until you're like actually able to go back. And the only reason why we went back early, of course, is for our sport. But the way we had to practice with masks, I'm telling you, I couldn't breathe before sometimes, and definitely having a mask on, like I could not breathe. But I'm glad we got that COVID year back, because them few games was not it. Not having nobody in the stands, it was crazy. Being in a hotel every other week because of COVID, like you had to quarantine. And like I remember one time we almost missed the game because like our coach got it, and like I was just working out with him. I was like, COVID is crazy. Like you could be right around that person and not get it. So it was just like playing with that. It was like I wouldn't want this on nobody. You're not really experiencing your college life. You can't go out, or you can't go do certain stuff, like even get groceries. Me and my roommate made the joke every time we went to go get groceries, somebody on our team got COVID and we were shut down again. So it was at the point where we just stopped grocery shopping.
So just what was it? For, what's it called? Instacart, right? Instacart?
Yeah, they had the Instacart. And I was like, no, I like going into stores and, going down every aisle, picking out what I want. So it was kind of hard for me.
And one thing I want to ask you, obviously, is now coming to FIU. Obviously, you were at St. Joseph's, and now you make the transition over, coming down south, a little bit kind of near home. It's not 3 hours, but still, it's in the state. But talk about the, getting to be recruited by Coach Brooks Wiley and the staff, and having an opportunity to play at FIU, really making an immediate impact when you come down.
Yeah, I think when I first got on the phone with Coach Burks, I was just like, yeah, it's time for me to get back home. Like, I'm missing my nephew grow up. Like, I'm missing family. And overall, I just, like, want a better relationship with my head coach. I think that's always been more important to me. Like, yeah, you have your assistant coach you go to. But at the end of the day, I need to know that I can go to my head coach for anything. And during my recruitment process, it was really good, just talk to her and, like, pick her brain. I know she was at USF before. So, like, and I heard of and her assistant coach, Coach Dan. I've heard about him too with like trainers I used to work out with. So I was like, okay, so like it's like I kind of know them. Like I have a feel for them. I think this is going to be a great place for me. And then overall, like the style of basketball that FIU plays, like fast up and down transition, which was something that like I had to get back to doing. I kind of, going to St. Joe's wasn't always my style of basketball, which always didn't fit me. So coming to FIU did that a lot.
I guess you talked about, having that relationship with Coach Burks Wiley. What was that transition like for you, and how much did they help you that first year with FIU?
Yeah, first year was a lot. I can tell you that, especially just being around Coach Burks and being around previous coaches. Like we always didn't see eye to eye. Of course, not what coach and player always does. But at the end of the day, we got the job done. Our assignment was the same. We want to win games, and we all have to be on the same page. So we both made that very clear. So that's how that went.
Oh, you're muted, Jake.
All right, now we're good. So let's talk a bit about your freshman year at FIU, right? You made yourself known very early, thanks in part to averaging like over 15 points per game, which was the best among that team that year. And towards the latter end of the season was when you put up some of your best numbers overall. And again, this was all in your freshman season, Kaliah. So just what was the mentality like during this instance for you, being a freshman, but contributing so much to that team?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think it was like me automatically coming from St. Joe's. I didn't play the second half. So it was just like, I want to play basketball. Like I miss it. Like I'm ready to show like I've improved from like the previous years. And most of it came off confidence. Like once those few games where I had like a couple 20 points, I was like I'm hurt. Like I can do this, especially like playing against those good competition. I wanted to win. So whatever I had to do to help my team win, I was willing to do. So.
Oh, who just said they're your biggest fan? It's none of them. None other than Hunter.
Oh my God, Hunter, you shouldn't have.
Paws Up podcast legend, by the way.
Yeah, he was on not too long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. So shout out Hunter.
Love you, Hunter.
One of your best performances, Kaliah, happened to be against Charlotte in the Conference USA tournament, right? 31 points. I think that's still a career high in a single game for you. I mean, just looking back, just how proud of you of how you took part in that game specifically, and how does it hold up still all these years later?
It's always good to score 30, but I definitely would have loved that win more. But it was good for me to going into next year of what I can do, what I should like, what more can I do for my teammates too. It was a good game, but of course we always want a W, which is tough.
Yeah, you talk about going into next year, and that's this year has been probably one of the best years for FIU women's basketball in a very, very long time. But for you as well, reaching 1,000 career points against FGCU, how much did that mean to you? And then they had a game where they honored you for those 1,000 points. I mean, just looking back and from Japan now coming back here, St. Joseph's FIU, how much did it mean to you to get those 1,000?
It meant a lot. I always tell people I feel like getting 1,000 points in high school and college is always a big accomplishment. So I think I am the first in my family to do that. So
hey, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm the best in my family. We all know that. But no, it felt really good just to finish that and just to leave off my career with 1,000 points. I feel like that was the best for me. So I was really happy.
When you took that shot to get to 1,000 career points, did you know that was going to be the shot?
No, I didn't. I didn't know until Coach Dan said it in the circle. Oh yeah, Kaliah, congrats on making 1,000 points. I think Coach Burks wanted it to be like a surprise for the next game, but I guess he couldn't hold it in. So I had no idea. Like I knew that I was close to 1,000. Like you always figure like you're close. Like I'm in this area. Like I'm gonna get it this year, of course. But I didn't know I was gonna get it that game.
And Kevin kind of highlighted on it about this year. And obviously, an unbelievable year in FIU women's basketball, 21-12, most wins since 2011, 2012, highest seeding, tons of all conference selections, most conference wins since you're winning Conference USA, just a lot of cool notables. And for you in particular, a lot of fun games, whether it was on the road at home. For you, what was your favorite game in particular this year that you played in, or just a fun game overall for this team?
Honestly, I think it would have to be against Stetson, the WNIT game, our first win. I think that really was not our best game, but from what we endured like all the year, nobody expected us to be this far. Like you picked us last in the conference, like close to last in the conference, and we're top 3. Of course, we didn't do how well we wanted to, and the Conference USA championship. But I think that Stetson game really just uplifted our spirits just a little bit more. Like, okay, it's been like a while since we got back here, so I would say Stetson game.
Did it kind of feel like one of those get-right games for you guys, especially after how the Conference USA tournament ended?
Yes. I think we talked about it right after the game. We do not want to leave off like this, especially like the seniors. Like, we can probably get a couple more games in. We definitely don't want this to be our last game. You sit around waiting to see if you're going to make a post-tournament, and we just kept talking about it like, if we play one more game, God willing, like, we got to go all out. So it was good to have some more games underneath us.
And what about this team for you? Obviously, compared to last year, but it felt like this year there were so many pieces that really, there was not one star. Everyone kind of chipped in and really made a big difference. Whether, Amaya Kone off the bench, Naja Hayes, who had a great junior year, Courtney Pranger. Just talk about a lot of this team overall and how you were able to kind of, mesh well, and everyone had their roles and did, had good games and really built a nice core this year.
Within the locker room, we always talked about it. Like, I know, man, I'm like, go get a bucket. Like, go get a bucket. You go get a bucket. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all bucket getters. Like, one game is not just going to be you. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be her. Like, we know that. And I think that was really good coming into knowing that, like, we have different pieces. So one night it's not going to be this just whole one person doing it by herself. No, she's going to go drop you 20. She's going to go drop you 10, 15. And then that's all you need with some rebounds and stuff like that. But no, I think we talked about it well within, like, what can I bring to the team? Like, and sometimes it may not be scoring. And I think I learned that over the years that I don't need to score all the time. I just need to make sure I'm getting rebounds, I'm locking up, or I'm just bringing energy off the bench. So
how much of an emphasis did you put on that specifically? You kind of being that point guard, especially when a couple girls went down. How much of an emphasis did he put, especially on the assists and the rebounds and really distributing the ball?
a lot. I think I remember during we played a scrimmage. I forgot against who, but it was when Tanasia was out for a little while, and Jenna had class, and she couldn't go on the trip with us because, of course, like scrimmages, you really can't. And I had to play in one position, and I think I really focused on like getting my teammates open, like running the offense and stuff like that. And Coach Burks had to pull me to the side, like, okay, I'm asking you to be a point guard, but I'm not asking you to not score the ball. So figuring that out and trying to help my teammates get, in good position was kind of hard at first. I'm trying to manage that all, but I think throughout the year, like if I did need to run the one, like I knew how to score when I need to, but also get my teammates open at the same time. So it was, a pretty exciting because, sometimes I went to the one, sometimes I went to the four. Well, I played majority of the four throughout the year, but it was, I'm on the court helping out, so I can't complain which position I play.
Now, before we go into news break, now's your time to shout out a couple of your teammates. Who are some of the girls really that not many people spoke about in the media, but deserve recognition for the years that they had?
I would say Ajay, Maria, and I know you guys being hurt, you guys didn't get to, show out for the rest of the year, but the days that you guys were out there at practice and in the games, y'all helped a lot. It wasn't always on the stats book, but you guys were always there. And then Liv, the way you came alive for us second half was crazy. And to the rest of my girlies, I love y'all all so much. Keep doing y'all.
Oi, Kevin, is it time for a news break?
Let's do it.
Alrighty then. This is Jake's news break. A look at all things FIU athletics and just FIU in general. There we go. So let's get right into it. And this is mainly going to be a football-oriented news break, and for good reason. Not that long after FIU or the Miami Dolphins signed former FIU Panther Jonnu Smith, they have now signed another former Panther to the team. It is Teair Tart. Tart is a former Tennessee Titan and Houston Texan who spent 2 seasons with the FIU Panthers, a Philadelphia native and a JUCO transfer before committing to FIU. He put up some absolutely ridiculous numbers with the Panthers, 51 total tackles, 5.5 sacks. He had a very solid season with Tennessee and then went to Houston and had some success there. But now he joins a Dolphins defense with the loss of players like Christian Wilkins and Raquan Davis. He is absolutely going to play a key part in sort of rebuilding this Dolphins defense from the ground up, it feels like. And this sort of leads into another potential new addition to FIU or to the Miami Dolphins come the NFL draft, as Donovan Manuel held a private workout for the Miami Dolphins a few days ago. The recent graduate from FIU who has declared for the NFL draft, Donovan Manuel holds the all-time record in forced fumbles in a single season. And again, I mean, I wouldn't be complaining having yet another FIU Panther on an NFL roster, but making it even cooler, of course, is the fact that it would be on the Miami Dolphins. So let's keep the football train rolling with an event coming up this Saturday, April 13th at 5 p.m. It is, of course, none other than the FIU Football Spring Showcase. It's not exactly a game per se between two opponents. However, it's essentially a practice between all aspects of the roster for FIU. Every single position will get their warm-ups. There's going to be a lot of festivities before, during, and after the game. A lot of great reasons for fans to come to the game, but maybe one big one is that it will be free. General admission is $0. You just need to order online ahead of time and then pick up your tickets at the stadium on the day of. So once again, the FIU Football Spring Showcase is on Saturday, April 13th at 5 p.m. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to FIU pitcher Ryan Kabarkas, who made some history in this previous doubleheader series against the FGCU Owls, throwing his 200th career strikeout for the FIU Panthers. You can be sure to stay tuned to watch him and the rest of FIU as they take on the Wofford Terriers for a weekend series. And that was your news break. So let's get right back into the discussion here, Kaliah. And I wanted to talk about just the overall state of women's basketball, because this episode is coming not long after South Carolina defeated Iowa in the NCAA championships. It's been on the mind for a lot of people, and that women's basketball in general has just taken off as of late, thanks to what players like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have done in college. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, as a fellow athlete in the same sport, just what are your overall thoughts on how women's basketball has really rapidly grown?
It's just amazing, especially for the next generation that's going to only continue to get better. So it's like, dang, like, and I think women's basketball was the most viewed more than men's basketball this year.
Yeah.
Nobody was waiting up to 9:20 to watch no men's basketball, because I know I wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, it was just amazing just to see like our sport come so far. Like, and next year the WNBA, where Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are going to be at, so it's going to bring more like, you know, awareness to that league. So I'm just excited.
And for you, you know, obviously, you know, definitely I've heard people say, you know, women's basketball was more interesting than the men's side, you know, in recent years, especially this year. You know, what are the steps to take it to really keep growing the sport and, you know, put eyes on it? Obviously, Caitlin Clark did an excellent job for what she was able to do etch herself in, you know, in basketball history. You know, what are the steps to kind of keep growing the sport, especially on the women's side?
Just keep what they're doing. I feel like the NIL deals and just broadcasting us a little bit more. Like, well, I think we did it more ourselves. Like Angel Reese did it, and Caitlin Clark did it. Paige is doing it. Like, just start not focusing on us, but like start doing the same things we're doing, because I think it's only going to get bigger. Like, the NIL deal is going to get bigger for you. Just broadcasting yourself. I think TikTok has been a big help in that too. Like social media. Yeah. So we keep doing that. It's only going to get bigger, and I hope it gets bigger.
I think people like seeing just the personality, you know, off the court with them, you know, just normal people, and then on the court, you know, they're dropping 30, like it's nothing.
I think that's the big part, like personalities.
Yeah,
a lot of different personalities.
So. Were you rooting for a specific team in that Final Four?
Yes, South Carolina. You know, I love Caitlin Clark. She's a dog. She's one of a kind. But I had to go with Dawn and her team. I had to. We love Caitlin though. Caitlin's a beast, generational talent.
Yeah.
So this is a completely random question in regards to what we've been talking about, but something that I know you saw, and I hope all of you saw, was that trailer for this episode, and that Good Burger clip. What was the context for that, Kaliah?
Honestly, I was the night before every game. The night before, like, I like to watch a movie, I like to watch my TV shows, I like to just relax, not think about basketball. Sometimes I'll watch a little basketball, but sometimes I just like to like be normal, just watch some regular TV. Okay. And the night before on Prime, Amazon Prime, Amazon, who cares? I seen Good Burger 2. And I was like, oh my God, it's Good Burger 2. So, you know, I clicked on it, I watched it, and then the next thing you know, I'm repeating it after the game. Like, I really don't think I tried to say it, but I was just so hooked on the headphones being on, and I was just so excited. And yeah, a great movie, by the way. Not as good as the first one, but it was decent.
Shout out Corey Brooks, by the way, in that presser. That was one hell of a presser. So Corey definitely played his part in that.
Before we get into rapid fire, I do want to ask you, Kaliah, now that you're done here at FIU with your career, what's next for you? Do you still plan on continuing to play, or you know, what are you currently majoring in? What are you going to graduate with, and you know, what's next for you?
That's a great question. But yeah, I graduate May 2nd with an international business degree, so I'm excited for that. As of right now, I think I'm just in the moment, which is not good, but not bad. Like, I think my parents and brothers ask me every week what I want to do with my life. Do I still want to play basketball or be around it? And I think right now, I kind of still do want to be around it. Like, I'm 50-50 with lacing back up and not lacing back up. So I think whatever comes my way, I'm still thinking. I don't know. I just don't want to rush into something and then not be happy with it. So I'm still thinking, yeah.
I'm just gonna give a shout out for that Good Burger. I remember it was after the Bethune-Cookman game. She was on. You're on the mic, and I think what it was is you saw yourself on the jumbotron, and then
it just got crazy. I shouldn't have seen myself. I think I would have acted more. Well,
did you enjoy that though? That was a new feature I think this year is putting everyone's interviews on the jumbotron and over the speakers. Did you like that, or you?
I loved it. It was funny because everybody could see. But then, like, I can see how I look, too, because sometimes you don't have time to go back to the locker room and try to make sure you don't look as crazy as you do. But it was nice. It was cool. So people can actually hear what you have to say after the game. It makes you a little less nervous, too. Yeah. But, okay, they're already watching me anyway, so, like, might as well just take my time.
Yeah. Well, the question Kevin asked has now produced an interesting rebuttal for myself. What advice would you give to two freshmen who could be joining the FIU team this offseason, about the culture that you and Burks Wiley and everyone there has sort of developed?
Just be yourself. Like, nobody's trying to change you. I think a lot of people should understand that, like, when you're going into a different type of setting, it's always nice just to be yourself, and that helps a lot. Like, don't try to change your game. Don't try to, well, always improve your game, but like, don't change yourself. So I would definitely tell incoming freshmen that.
What would you tell them
the
about
process?
What would you tell them about Miami specifically? It's a crazy city. What do they need to know?
Miami is beautiful. You have a lot to do in Miami, but you got to stay focused. You can't let the Miami life and basketball life intervene. You got to keep it separate, but still enjoy your time too, because at the end of the day, you're still a young adult. So.
Alrighty then, let's get into the fun rapid fire questions as we begin to start to close out the show here. And you've already made a good case for yourself, Kaliah, but who is the funniest player on the team?
Okay, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I think I have my moments where I'm just flat out hilarious and I don't try. But not including myself, I don't know. It depends every day because everybody else just comes up with different stuff, and it's just like, how do you think of that? I'm gonna give it Fantasia. Fantasia's flat out so funny without trying. Like, she doesn't try at all. You just look at her sometimes, you might laugh. That's my roommate though, so I can say that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So aside from your dorm, because everyone says your dorm, what's your favorite hangout spot on campus? Locker rooms have been a popular answer as of late too.
It's because I love being in my room watching TV. The Kissing Bridge. I used to feed the turtles around there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I used to say that. People used to give me weird looks. I was like, no, like, I'm not kissing or anything like that. I'm just like feeding turtles, feeding iguanas. So that's like my second favorite place.
Well, on the topic then, where was your go-to spot to grab some food, to grab some grub?
Ooh, off campus, it would be Chipotle, but on campus, I love sushi maki.
Nice.
Okay.
And I love getting fried gyozas, and then of course Chick-fil-A. So I just had that today.
Johnny, do you want to tell Kaliah how overrated you think Chipotle is?
Who said
Actually,
that?
No. I went to Chipotle recently for the first time, like 2 weeks ago, and it was good. So
I was about to say, we were going to talk bad.
Yeah.
So
I did. I can't. I already went there for the first time, so I have a say, and it's good.
Okay.
He said Moe's was better though.
I did say that about a year ago. I did say Moe's was better than Chipotle because I never been to Chipotle.
I don't like Moe's like that. Like, I would not just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Moe's. But Chipotle, that vinaigrette sauce, it does it. It does it for me. You know what, Jonathan? I can mess with you.
There we go.
You got any questions there?
That's a good question. I would say, what's your best Coach Burks Wiley mode? Because she's somebody that you see her on the court in the bench. She's intense. But on the other side, she's the sweetest person. Talk about what's your favorite moment of Coach Burks Wiley.
I guess it has to be some games. Like, there's always like tense moments, and you're either getting yelled at, cussed at, or don't even get talked to. You go straight to the bench. But it's so funny though, because sometimes I remember one time she just got done, Kaliah, and I'm like, look at, like, you sounded like my mom. Like, my mom doesn't even yell at me like this. But it's like always at the end, like, she'll come up to me, pat me on the butt, like, okay, good game. I'm like, okay, thanks. So it's like moments like that that's always like funny. It's like, girl, just give me our props. Be nice to me. But yeah, so stuff like that.
Who
and
on
Coach
the
Kiki
team?
too. Coach Kiki's fun sitting by. Coach Kiki's so funny. So funny on the bench.
Who on the team is getting the aux?
Not CT.
Oh.
Maybe. It depends what day it is.
Who's not getting the aux?
Say Liv. I'll give the aux Liv. She plays like a whole bunch of genre of music, so it's like, okay, it's gonna fit everybody's style. Nobody's gonna complain.
Who's not getting the aux? You're gonna have to know
someone. Don't kill me.
Somebody.
Hopefully she don't see this. I'm gonna say AJ. AJ gonna have us listen to music like we going to the club 24/7, and then maybe Fantasia, because I don't even know what Fantasia listens to, and I do not want to know what she listens to because I feel like it's gonna be very crazy. But yeah.
Alrighty.
So here's something interesting that happened not that long ago in the NBA 3-point contest. They had a really cool challenge in which Steph Curry battled Sabrina.
Uh-huh.
Iones.
Something.
something along those lines. But it was a super cool idea having a WNBA player going up against an NBA player. If you could go up against any NBA player ever in a 3-point contest, who would you want it to be against?
It would have to be against somebody that I think I can beat. So it's not going to be Steph Curry.
She was close. She almost beat Steph.
I know. That's a good question because you know what? I'm gonna go against Steph. I'm gonna go against the best. You know what? I'm gonna go against
the best
Steph
of the
too.
best there is,
and Kevin Durant too. I'll go against Kevin Durant. I feel like he's pretty tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite NBA and WNBA team?
Honestly, I don't have an NBA team. I just always been like just watching anybody who plays. But WNBA, I used to like the Washington Mystics because Natasha Cloud used to play there, and she used to go to St. Joe's. So I used to be rooting for her. But now I'm kind of just seeing who's going to pick up who in the draft, and then that's going to be my team for the year. I'm not a bandwagon, but
okay.
I got to see who's getting who.
There we go.
Something the women's basketball team had, which I thought they may have been better than the men's team, was the uniform selection. They had some awesome uniforms. That Vice uniform.
So dripped out. I love it.
What was your favorite setup?
Those Biscayne blues were nice.
Yeah. 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 I think the Biscayne blue is the best one. Just not because of the color, but it fits better. Like I love the black, but it's kind of big on me, so it hasn't always been my favorite. But the Biscayne blue is so pretty.
Speaking of the men's basketball team, by the way, how many men's basketball games did you go to in your spare time this past season?
I think all that were like home that we weren't away were the ones that we went to because we always support our boys and they support us. So it's not we're not at their game. Shoot, we're walking through their practice and looking at it. So we're always there.
Alrighty, so right before we wrap up, if you had to choose one player to have on this podcast on the women's basketball team, who should it be? Could be anyone.
I think she would kill me if I said her because she hates talking. I would say maybe Tanasia Hayes or Liv. I think both of them will give you great perspectives of how their time here has been.
How do you think Burks Wiley would be as a guest?
That'd be great. I would love her to be.
We've always talked about how Coach Burks talks really good for the camp. Like she talks really good. I don't think she ever messes up. Like she knows what she wants to say. Like she's really, really good. Very
except on the Rory's blooper reel. But.
Yeah, the bloopers. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them coaches use some naughty words and they're messing up. I was like, hey, it was really fun to watch that. I think I was talking about that the other day. I said I really need like a copy of that just so I could play around.
We have a copy.
I need to send that to me because it was so funny.
Oh man, no, I think Burks Wiley would be a great guest. I mean, that'd be lights out. Lights out.
That is, y'all are great. I don't know who just did that, but that was great. I was like, it says Mike was muted. I was like, I didn't touch anything. No, that's cool. That's dope.
All right, Kaliah, we can't thank you enough for spending some time with us. And as usual, if you have anything you'd like to say to the fans, to FIU, to anyone, the floor is now yours.
No, I would just like to thank everybody that's been a part of my career at FIU, St. Joe's. It doesn't matter. Back to YMCA. I just want to say thank you and my family. I love you guys so much. And Paws up.
Hey, I mean, what she said. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, thank you so much for Kaliah for spending some time with us. And yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff coming up. We already have another awesome guest lined up for next week. Can't announce it just yet, but it should be another fun episode. So for Kevin, for Johnny, for Kaliah, to everyone, I say have a great night and Paws up.
Paws up, baby.